Warehouses have a sound all their own. It's not silence. It's a low, mechanical breathing. Conveyor belts humming, fluorescent lights buzzing, forklifts beeping somewhere far away. During the day, it feels alive. At night, it feels like a massive animal pretending to sleep. I learned the hard way that some warehouses don't sleep at all. I worked nights at Midwest Fulfillment, a distribution center outside Des Moines. The building was enormous, over 1 million square feet, with racking that went up 4 stories and aisles that stretched so long you couldn't see the end under bad lighting. The pay was decent. The hours were brutal. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Most people lasted a few weeks. I lasted almost 2 years. I liked the routine. Headphones in, scanner in hand, walk, scan, pull, repeat. No customers, no managers hovering. Just the map on the handheld telling you exactly where to go. Or so I thought. The night shift had a skeleton crew. Maybe 30 of us spread across a building meant for hundreds. Security sat near the front. Supervisors stayed clustered around the dock. Pickers like me were sent deep into the warehouse, into places where the lights sometimes didn't kick on unless motion sensors were triggered. That meant long stretches of darkness. At first, it was just creepy. Then, it became wrong. The scanner was your lifeline. It beeped. It spoke. It told you where to go and what to pick. One night, around 1:30 a.m., my scanner froze. The screen went black. That wasn't unusual. The devices were old. I tapped it, cursed under my breath, and waited. Then the screen flickered back on. AS-47, bin 13B. That aisle didn't exist. I knew the map by heart. The warehouse only went up to aisle 42. Anything past that was a dead wall and emergency exits. I radioed my supervisor. "Hey, Mark, my scanner's glitching. It's sending me to aisle 47. Static." Then laughter. "Nice try," Mark said. "Just reboot it." I rebooted. New task popped up. Aisle 47, bin 13B. Same location. I frowned. Maybe they added temporary overflow? I shrugged it off and headed toward the back anyway. Worst case, I'd hit a wall and reroute. That was mistake number 1. The farther back I walked, the quieter it got. The familiar hum faded. The lights thinned out. By the time I reached aisle 42, the floor markings stopped looking fresh. The concrete was cracked. Dust gathered in the corners. Motion lights flickered on reluctantly, as if annoyed to be disturbed. At the end of aisle 42 was a gap I had never noticed before. A narrow opening between racks. No sign, no number, just darkness. My scanner beeped. "Proceed forward." I hesitated. Then I did something I regret to this day. I stepped through. Aisle 47 was real, but it wasn't on any official map. The racks were older, bent steel, different labeling system, no safety tape. The lights were dimmer, flickering like they were running on borrowed power. The air smelled wrong, damp, metallic. My scanner vibrated. Bin 13B. Confirm presence. I swallowed. "Hello?" I called out, my voice swallowed by the space. No answer. I took a few steps forward. The scanner beeped again. Then it spoke. Not the usual robotic tone. It said my name, clear as day. "Ethan." I dropped the scanner. It clattered on the concrete, the screen still glowing. I stood frozen, heart pounding so hard I thought it might trigger the motion lights. My name echoed again, softer this time, from deeper down the aisle. "Ethan." I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't grab the scanner. I sprinted until my lungs burned, bursting back into aisle 42, like a diver breaking the surface. I didn't stop until I reached the supervisor desk. Mark looked up, annoyed. "What the hell's wrong with you? There's an aisle back there. The scanner. It said my name." Mark stared at me. Then his face changed. "Who told you about that?"
"Carl told me to stay where I was. He said he'd review the footage. While he did, I locked myself in a small conference room and sat with my back against the door. Every sound felt amplified. The building creaked, pipes ticked, air vents sighed. Then Carl called back. "You need to hear this," he said. "Hear what?" "That person badged in at 11:58 p.m. "That's impossible," I said. "I was already upstairs." "That's the thing. Carl replied. They badged in right after you. Carl came upstairs 10 minutes later. He looked pale. We stood in the security office on the 4th floor watching the replay. On screen, I saw myself walk through the lobby doors. Badge swipe, green light. Then, 3 seconds later, another badge swipe. Another green light. Someone walked in behind me. They were wearing the same cut of jacket, same build, same posture. From behind, they looked exactly like me. You didn't notice? Carl asked quietly. I shook my head. The footage continued. The camera followed us to the elevator. We stood side by side. I pressed the button. They pressed it too. I felt dizzy. When the doors closed, Carl said, only one of you came out. I swallowed. What happened to the other? Carl rewound. When the doors closed, the reflection in the stainless steel panel showed 2 figures. When the doors opened, one reflection remained. The other didn't. They searched the building. Nothing. No signs of forced entry. No hidden stairwell activity. No emergency exits triggered. Just logs. Badge access logs. Every overnight shift for the past 3 weeks, someone had been badging in behind me. Same timing, same delay, same exit pattern. They never stayed long, never triggered motion sensors for extended periods. They followed, observed, left. The police got involved. They checked badge records. The badge used belonged to an employee who had died 6 months earlier. Heart attack, sudden, at home. His badge was supposed to be deactivated. It wasn't. They checked footage from previous nights. On one frame, enhanced and slowed, the camera caught a face turning slightly toward the lens. Not mine, but close enough to make my skin crawl. Same eyes, same expression, like someone wearing my life a half-second too late. I never went back to night shift. I quit 2 weeks later. They replaced the security system, deactivated old badges, changed procedures. Carl retired early. But sometimes when I badge into a building now, I wait, I listen, because I learned something the hard way. If you don't turn around when the door opens behind you, you might never know who followed you inside.